Alright guys, I'm back. I'm sorry I took a small little break. But as I left off at what Brother Malcolm was saying about the religions and giving the historical facts, like I said, about Abraham, he did have a son. His first son was Ishmael. So I explained how this is possible of him giving the covenant, the law. Well, I wouldn't say the covenant, but I would say the law and the commandments to his son Ishmael, which was like anywhere from 11 to 13 years older than Isaac. But the reason why the Most High said the covenant, he chose one specific seed, was because it's always been one pathway. And he, whatever reason he did. He also, like I said, had 6 sons by Keturah. When Sarah died, he was able, lawfully, according to the law and commandments, able to have another wife. And he had 6 children by her. But if those 6 children go set up religions, at the end of the day, they could have did the same thing, just like Ishmael did with Islam, which one of his descendants did that. So when Brother Malcolm was doing that, he did not refer to the religion at the time he was following, because he was following Elijah Muhammad, which was rooted inside of the American Islamic. But when he got to the point of the knowledge of, okay, this started overseas, just like the Jews, just like Christians, all this, it didn't start in America so much. I would say you had tribes in the Middle Eastern, because all the tribes were scattered all over the world. So he went farther to go see for himself by traveling out the country. So he got to that level of understanding, and then shortly after died. But I'm sure he realized that the same thing and message he was preaching was the same thing according to his religion, had been founded by man also. Another thing, like I said, the covenant was always with Isaac. It doesn't matter if Ishmael or even the other sons of Abraham, if he had 100 children and they wanted to go out and do their own thing or make their own books or write, that still won't change the Most High, because he never changed. It's the reason why he said the covenant gonna be with Isaac, and that's what it's gonna be. So at the end of the day, the covenant is blood, spirit, with the Most High, being one with him. He set apart a certain seed to be the ruler of all. He said a certain seed, a bloodline in spirit, that he's going to work through to bless the whole nation, everybody on earth. So at the end of the day, when we're looking at it at that point of view, we can understand. But I'm tired of brothers and sisters, or even people in these religious organizations, not understanding that a covenant, a bloodline, spirit is not religion. It's your genetic code, So you're one with the Creator. Yes, he create evil for his own purpose. He have allowed men to do their own things by their own choices. They have free will to write whatever books they want to write. They have free will to give their children what they feel like they want them to have. That's their free will. So at the end of the day, Muhammad, Constantine, all these men had children and seeds and stuff too, like the disciples and the prophetess and the prophets. So at the end of the day, it's all up to the parents what they choose to submit to, and what they wanted to feed their children or teach their children, or what they wanted to live on. So everybody have a choice though. The word still been here, the people still been here, the bloodline. I mean, it ain't, truth is in plain sight. I mean, history is there. So, but you have to have the understanding of what you're, I guess, reading and where it come from. Kind of, you got to have truth. You really do have to have the spirit of truth to understand that. So, did it make it right? No, it didn't make the path right just because Ishmael set up this, or Edom set up this, or the Midianites set up this. It still doesn't change what the Most High said the covenant would be. So again, like Malcolm said, Islam teach you submission to the religion or the ways or the rules. It's the same concept, but on a different pathway when you apply it to your creators, the word, the one above all. So although Ishmael was older than Isaac, and he got to get to know his father a lot better, I would say, being the oldest and knowing more, that's why Islam has a lot of knowledge. Because Ishmael was the first child out of all his children he had with 3 women. So, of course, and I gave y'all the example how you could use in real life if you got siblings or brothers and sisters. It happens like that. But the thing about Abraham, he was so consistent and he really submitted the fact that he gave all his children the same principles, the same law, the same commandments. Now, it's up to them how they hold up their agreement, but he showed the way for the world. So through all these religions, they go back to Abraham, but he only could show you the way. Whatever his kids did after he died and passed, or whatever they wanted to do, that was on them. At the end of the day, we all have a choice and decision. So but understand the covenant was given to Isaac, not Ishmael. So you always had that war with brothers being envy and jealous of the next. Even had the first incident where one killed his brother. It's always been that war. So yeah, you would have some to try to, Islam tell you it's through Ishmael. Hey, I've already put like the different similar, rarities of it. And y'all can go for yourself to go deeper in it and really get to determine which way that you fit better, because it's not the same God of either both of them books. In the law in the Bible, it says sodomy or all these sins or abomination. But Islam accept transgender. They accept you being whoever you are of a sinner. They accept you being of all colors of races. But that's because they accept, that's them. They accept everything. So how can you say that the Bible and the Quran is the same God when they both, one is talking about a specific thing that he does not like? Well, then why would he give another book that says, oh, it's okay, I'm going to accept a transgender, I'm going to accept everybody being whoever they want to come, and they can come as they want? Well, then that's the case. Everybody can do what they want, and it's no standard, it's no value, and we just live how we want to live, and it's no judgment, it's no nothing, and we'll be still healthy, we'll still be having our spirit, and everything will be fine then. That's not true. In reality, you can see it's not true. Obviously, it's some type of standard and balance, or we wouldn't got to this point as a nation. So that's where Mother Wisdom come in to give the standard, the measurement, and balance, which is his wisdom. More knowledge. So now you see now where the balance lies. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we do need morality. So like Malcolm did say, he say the Christians call on the God while he is slaving you, and then the Arab God called on Allah. The Christian calls on Jesus. They both calling on a so-called God, but what's the difference? The difference gonna come into morality, right? That spirit, that conscious that we all got, which every human being has that, no matter what color you are. So that's what he was talking about. But do that make sense? While your slave owner calling on Jesus, and while your slave owner calling on Allah and killing you at the same time, they praying sin, they praying to the same God as you, right? And Mother Wisdom explained that the Most High do set up evil for his own purpose, but she said the purpose was for the evil day, to be an opposition for punishment, not to set up just because it's evil in the world that you do it, because God accepted and he created it. No, that's not how it goes. So it's just kind of one of those things you just have discernment and have to know and understand. So I like some of his concepts and metaphors because it's obviously that he stood on more knowledge. When it came to him making a decision about morality and the people he hanging around, and really questioning to see if this really religion is really of God, When he had to make a conscious decision, he chose right. Now, I don't know about Martin. I'm not too much familiar with a lot of history of speeches with him, but all I know, he was still a Catholic. But Malcolm just had a moment just like Paul had, or a lot of us have had when we came to truth, where it's a moment where you have to make a decision of something. And it's usually on your spirit, it's usually on a morality principle. Like, regardless if I follow Christianity, it was moments where I was like, it was a moral decision to make. I wasn't looking at my religion. These are the same things that a lot of people have come to face with. Some of them chose to, like, forget it, I'm going to still just go along with it. But some of people was like, you know what, I can't do this no more. This comes to a point where I need my spiritual help now. This is not right. It's, you know, so, and I don't care what nobody say. I'm for truth. This is not right, so I'm turning back around. Okay, and I explained in some of my other, the first ones, Unfolding of Proverbs, the Calling of the Wise version, some of what she was saying in the first or two chapters on those things about the turning away, the reproach, and she sets you on a new path. So, but you have to make the decision. So it's not that they are contradiction, or people are contradicting their words when us path. Is that he had to grow like anybody else, just like I had to grow. And so sinners need to understand that they're still in bondage. It's not that nobody is contradicting themselves, for they one way this minute and that way. No. Some people chose a different path when it came to them. They chose to just say, I'm done with it. I'm turning around. If this is true and this is the evidence and this is what okay, I got to make a decision. So I still feel like he went out the best way he could. I'm glad he did, was able to release some footage and speeches to let us know. So it's proof here, and we should learn from our ancestors' mistakes, the previous generations, because it's a lot left for us to understand that, okay, it's already been shown, it's already been proven. And so, and he died, right? A lot of people want to say it's government. A lot of people want to say it was his brothers. The reason why I say it had to be his brothers or his people that was in his group, that maybe conspire along with the Arabs because of the they wanted in life and what they felt like they couldn't stand up for. So they'll leave him out there hanging to do it. I explain, I think Christ, or what I will explain now if I haven't. When you're angry with your brother, you know, the parable, the little message he said, is true. So do I hate my sisters and brothers that's in the nation of Islam? No, I don't. But I have to must be another message to tell you the way, the truth, the life. You know what I'm saying? And what the message is all about. Is it truth in the Quran? Yes, like any other books and any other historical things. But for choosing a morality decision, do not base it on a religious mindset. Don't base it on your religion you've been taught. Go and seek and continue to seek him continually, because knowledge is limitless and wisdom is unlimited. So it's a growing process. So I'm glad that they left us with things to look back on, to reflect, to give us some inspiration, and also give us some knowledge and understanding as a youth that's coming from my youth. Tupac was kind of like our last little thing. You know, he died in the 90s. So he was definitely talking to us as children. So that was kind of our last little hope or inspiration of some type of figure standing up for something right. So I don't, but I don't idolize Tupac. I don't idolize Malcolm X. I don't idolize nobody. I just simply give people credit for where it's due. And I also agree with like mine. So if it's on the court of what I know and it's right, I'm in agreement fully. And I don't reject nothing. So I'm just here to tell you that the Most High is not going to accept transgender. He has never accepted that. So I can't, say that it's right. And it's kind of blasphemy and it's kind of mockery to the law that he's already given us. So it's no way the gods or whoever or man who wrote the Quran is not the same God who wrote the Holy Scriptures or the Spirit. It was not. It's not there. It's not a contradiction. What made it contradiction was man made it be a contradiction. So at the end of the day, you get to choose and you get to decide. But, know what you decided, know what you're standing up for. So I just admire that, though. The strength it takes to stand on what you believe in the truth. So I hope I gave y'all a clear kind of edification to that. With he said about, like I said, going all the way back to Abraham, and he was breaking it down. But like I said, the father of all faiths only went off the law and the commandments, so, and the statutes, and that's what we were supposed to keep our agreement at, and we did not keep our agreement to the other part of the covenant. Our ancestors didn't, and as you know, our God punished the children for the parents or your forefathers' sins. So that's how he works. Now, I don't know how Allah works so much, but it's accountability with our God. It's a moral center with our God, and he has wisdom. So it's not just man. So at the end of the day, Allah is one to y'all, okay? Our God is one with us, but he has wisdom. He created male and female, and that's what it'll always be. So at the end of the day, you can't be a man and a woman in the same body. It's not possible, and it's not right. So am I coming down on y'all? No, I'm not. But if you're following that, just if you're straight and you believe in a word and you believe in man and woman, male and female, you cannot contradict yourself with something that's already contradicted and it's not having any morality about it. So you need to choose. You have to choose. But stop trying to confuse the two and confuse people's mind, or spread the hate and spread the lies, and just tell it how it is. And that's what you chose to do and you want to stick to. That's fine. But I have a choice of faith what I want to stick to as well. And the evidence is there. You can get a Quran. You can get a Bible. You can go do what you need to do to figure it out. But I'm only here to share the wisdom and understanding about things and put it here for you. Y'all can always go on my page and study and get little stuff off. Always come back and check or anything you want that will help you on your process of seeking and knowing. But keep this part in mind. I want you to always, too, keep this part in mind. And I want y'all to just be careful. Be careful of the snares. Be careful of the things of the good and evil knowledge and things that's out there to swear your mind off of from truth and from sound wisdom. You got a lot of people on their channels flattening with the tongues, saying everything you want to say, but they're not edifying, they're not clarifying, and they're not giving you sound wisdom, and they're not giving you more knowledge. And so we're going to stop focusing on the pressers. We're going to stop focusing on Brother Esau. And if you want to go with somebody, start talking about Brother Ishmael. Start talking about some other ones that, you definitely need to look into to bring the truth off more. So you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways on the one pathway. So you have to choose that. So you can't be with Allah and you can't be with the Most High, if you want to call him. I don't like to say Yahweh too much or Allahaya too much. I don't like to say their name in vain. I don't like to say Yeshua in vain. I don't like to say these names in vain. Although I know the knowledge, I don't say them too much publicly. When I pray by myself. I use whatever name I pray to. I'm not here to pray in front of y'all as the Pharisees do, as the Messiah said. I'm not here to make a show, So at the end of the day, what I do in private spiritually and my spiritual growth is what I will keep in privately. I do. And say names and whatever I worship and whatever I pray to. So at the end of the day, I don't want to be looked at like that, because he's already broke down of the ways of how we should go about things and how we should do it. Men, It's okay. You can wear things on your head or whatever, but you are not supposed to be prophesying with things on your head. You should have a beard, because a beard is your masculinity. You shouldn't be looking like a woman. You know what I'm saying? That's just straight up. Beard is your masculinity. Your hair, your strength. So at the end of the day, it's some things that is off, but I'm not going to be on y'all just like that. Right now I got on a shirt and I got on some tights because I'm in my home probably. Ain't nobody here but me and my husband and my daughter, so I don't got a dress on right now. Sometimes I'm off a dress code, but it's in my house. I'm in my house, so it's okay. But I'm just letting y'all know, the truth. Yeah, you do need a beard. You do need to be masculine. You don't have to cover your head like a woman when you're praying. You don't even have to be praying in front of everybody. I've said the Lord Prayer maybe one time on my channel, and that's okay. And I said the simple form that's biblical. But if I'm going by myself, it's certain prayers I say. It's certain name I use. But that's the connection I have with my God. That's what we all supposed to be doing it properly. Because we don't have to show it. We don't have to make it be, all noticeable like the Pharisees. He wants us to set apart. He wants our righteousness to exceed the Pharisees, as he said, and scribes that go by the script. They're like mere actors that go by the script because that's all they know. And that's why they, rejected our brother. So at the end of the day, that's where I'm at. Nothing but truth. I am his sister in bloodline. Okay? The bride is women as a whole. So at the end of the day, these women that's coming out saying they this and this and that, let the word speak. Let prophecy be fulfilled. Do what you do, but know what you're doing. Women is the bride generous, so he's going to call whoever he wants to crown. But I was given the titles because bride is pertaining to female, feminine. Bridegroom is male, man. So at the end of the day, and just a symbolization, if we come together as one in a covenant of marriage. All these things are titles and concepts for to get you to understand. And so at the end of the day, let's not jump ahead. Yeah, it's possible. But at the end of the day, still humble yourselves. Just because I may be his sister in bloodline or I got the ancient bloodline to prove I'm part of, that doesn't mean I'm not humble. I'm still as humble as you. I'm still a servant under Master Yeshua, under the Most High, just like anybody else. Like, it's not going to change. It's not going to change for me. So I'm going to sit here normally and I'm going to talk and do what I usually do. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what I want to do. I want to give y'all something that I didn't pretty much have for a while. For a long, long time. So my God has only been that. And just recently trying to know him more better as to coming what he likes, what he don't like. Just trying to get more in tune with the commandments and what laws and just different things. Just studying and get to know him more about what he expects from us, especially Mother Wisdom. So that's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Doing some self-examination, some growth. And I would hope y'all do it too. Because I would want somebody to tell me this. Honestly. I would want somebody. So that's enough for me. Just kind of clarifying things. Going behind Brother Malcolm, some of the things he said. And kind of giving y'all on a path of where I'm at and what I'm saying. To elaborate more on that. And some things that I threw out that you can also look at. Like I said, with Ishmael being the first child. Look at his other kids that he had with Keturah. At the end of the day, the Most High only gave one child through them seeds, a covenant. So, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day. Now, what I want to jump into is, what is an agreement? A negotiation and typically legal binding arrangement between parties as to a course of action of consistency. When people feel or think the same way about something, they agree. This is called an agreement. Agreements are common in law and business. For example, when a person takes out a loan or hires someone to work, an agreement is usually signed so everyone understands what must be done and in what time it must be done. And so Just like me being, like I say, Judah and Gad. I'm a Negro Indian. I'm copper colored. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the bloodline. I'm going to say this. They have broken the terms of the agreements in human right. Giving y'all an example. So, we're mad as a nation. Some of us are just frustrated, upset. And some of us just like, you know what, that's alright. We just gonna understand and see what the Most High do. But basically is what they're trying to say is that we have been violated, just like Malcolm and Tupac and all these great inspirational black men that have came to try to be a voice and speak up. Basically, we have been violated of our human rights. Which human rights is your morality. You are entitled to make a decision based on your morality. Despite what the world has been going off just physically, mentally, but nobody wants to deal with the harsh spiritually effects of the tongue, spiritually effects of emotional wise, of neglect and abandonment. Those things play a key into our lives as well. But they be overlooked and denied. So a lot of people have been denied their human rights. Us as a nation whole have been denied a lot of human rights, which is our morality rights. We're humans. That's taking away our whole being of who we were created to be. So we should have the right to a moral decision at the end of the day without being forced, without being criticized, without being threatened in our livelihoods or anything. Because we want to make a moral decision. But however, everything ain't been playing fair. You know what I'm saying? People said, forget the morals, forget the values, forget turning the other cheek, forget all this stuff. I'm going to get it how I get it by any means necessary, where I got to steal, rape, torture, do whatever, and leave the innocent of these people that I've done this to and just forget about them. That is very cruel. That is very, very cruel. You do not care about Mother Wisdom's spirit that lives in us all, and especially her children. And I suggest y'all watch the Holy Spirit of Wisdom video 6, which elaborate more about what I just said. That it will air this Saturday, January the 9th, on that calendar, 2021 at 7 a.m. Please check it out, because I can't go in detail because I've already done that in this next video. So y'all kind of get what I'm saying. So you can't overlook the morality, because guess what? It's serious judgment for that part. A lot of things you can do physically, and you can do financially, or you can do mentally to people, and often they shake back, or they could have a possibility. But some things are spiritual. It takes a longer process to heal. You know what I'm saying? It leaves really, really devastating years of effects on people. I myself experienced it and still do some things now. So, but we must get out the spirit of fear on these things. And we have to keep the moral code about this decision of what we're facing or what we're going to be facing, to keep the moral standard in mind of why we shouldn't do certain things and why we should keep the law and the commandments. And if it goes against that, be willing to tell someone no. Be willing to stand up and continue. Is it there for that? Yes, but we always promise that. So, I mean, we don't get to choose when it happens or when it comes. All we get to choose is the choice and decision that, to make. So let's have wisdom and understanding in our mind when we make these things, so we won't go wrong and we won't try to hurt another individual and create a cycle of victims in society. So at the end of the day, so our covenant with our God, which is what I'm keeping, despite anything that's before the agreement. But it's kind of so much similarity, contrasting with the agreement. So like I was explaining earlier about when the woman and the man both do it, it makes it a covenant. So how it's so wrong, and you be like, you're battling and tip the scales is both off of the equally yoke and, not in agreement. So it got to be agreement. It's got to be a written thing, you know. The Most High gonna hold us to it. He gave us His law and His commandments, and He holds us to it. And we broke their promises, and some generations didn't. They decided to seek Him on their own and keep it to their death. So, hey, the truth been here for a long time. So at the end of the day, let's try to keep our agreement in mind to the marriage to our Creator. Let's keep them law. Let's keep our wisdom. Let's keep our understanding. Let's keep our commandments when we're facing trials and decisions and choices in life, and not just think that it all matters about the physical and the things that you can see on the outer, and not necessarily just overlook the inside being, or look, and even with yourself, apply with yourself, not overlooking your inside being. Like I say, if you learn to take care of yourself and mold yourself and get yourself right with God, and He work on you, you're gonna be right for the next person. That's just all to it. Both of y'all be right for each other. So, but it takes a two as an individual. But one is better than none, if none. But I can't imagine both. But at the end of the day, it's still possible if you're holding on some type of morality. And a lot of people are still holding on marriage. Just a few of us in the earth is holding on to that law and commandment. A lot of people have just, they go there more, don't even want to get married, don't look to, don't care, and kind of lost their way in life through that. They just said forget it and gave up. So, and like I said, we see society as it now. We see a society as a whole, why it became to this, and why evil is rising. These are hurt children, hurt people that grew. Okay, that's just basically what it is. And another definition of agreement would be, well, I would say a covenant now. I'm going to get on a little definition of the English definition of what they say. An agreement, usually formal, between two or more persons to do or not to do something specified. A usually formal and binding agreement. A written agreement or promise, usually under seal, between two or more parties, especially for the performance of some action. The common law action to recover damages for breach of such a contract. So like I said, when we didn't keep our ancestors didn't keep the law and commandments, they didn't keep the agreement. See, the covenant was never broken, okay? It was only renewed through, like, earth regenerate, or earth renew itself after time and time. Supposedly He flooded the earth in the past, and then now we here on this side. Alright, same thing as it is for the covenant. They say a Old and a New Testament, but it's all one book, okay? Don't look at the words old and new. Take the whole book, understand the whole book, read it. The letters are just like, if I send you an email, a sister brother email with some things that I want to say, or just things that I'm looking, that would be considered a letter. I can go as long as I want, whether it's 5,000 words, 2,000 words, 7,000 words, okay? Just explaining things. But the Gospels was actually like the evidence, the proof, the witnesses. And then you got the old way. You have the law, you have the commandments, you have the history. So you have to keep it all at once. But don't look at old and new, because it was only renewed. He did not divorce his wife. He did not divorce his wisdom. He did not forsake his people. He did not do these things. He separated us. Time has too. He separated us because of our weakness, for they are holy. So at the end of the day, the only way we can get close to them is if we be in a more purified state, if we be corresponding with, their law and commandments, keeping them. And it ain't just keeping them. When I keep saying that, I hope y'all understand this is a spiritual thing. You know what I'm saying? Seeking them, heart, mind, body, and being in tune. When you do that, you will become closer to them. You know what I'm saying? The Holy Spirit can dwell with you, can come upon you. You know what I'm saying? Then you start speaking when you speak. These things happen. So at the end of the day, it's like, we didn't keep eyes. So what did you expect for Him to do? Did y'all expect for them to just continue to be long-suffering with us and not punish us? And not correct us, not chastise us? No. It's time come when they have to do that. So at the end of the day, we need to understand that our part in it and why. Just like your God understand you is his creation, you have to understand the creators. So it's like that. So don't take it offense and harsh. I mean, we went through some bad things. We have the images, we have the pictures. It was horrible. But at the end of the day, it worked out to our good, right? For those who love the Most High, it works out. Everything. The bad and the good will work out to his purpose and his will for his life. And if you seek him, you will be at peace. You will be, content. You will be happy for us in yourself. Things are going to go. You're going to have some battles. You're going to have some wars with other people living in this world. But for the most part, you'll be satisfied with yourself. You'll be conscious free. You'll sleep good. You'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, if you just seek him. So, when we did not do that part, just like if a man and a woman, they enter a covenant or agreement, you have terms that the Most High tell the women to be like, dress like, act like. You have things he tell the men to do, obey. And so when we both submitted to what he fully saying to what we should be doing, not one, but both, not the other, and not the other. You get what I'm saying? Whether it be a man or a woman, a wife or a husband, either way you want to put it. It throws off the balance, you see. And so now we're not keeping our agreement. And so when a husband or a wife tells the other one, you're not keeping the agreement. It's things you got to do, it's things I got to do. Would one of them be wrong to step away or say, he's already gave us the instructions, right? So that's the same concept where we can apply as man and woman to our creators, Mother Wisdom and the Most High. Just look at it as you and with your opposite and what you should do. But the problem is, a lot of them have gave up. A lot of them have came adulterers, and they don't care, forsake the covenant, and just become all bitter, and scorn. Now they going to other things and other perversion. I ain't gonna get to that point. Like I said, I'll die on my morality before I get to the point where somebody gonna force me or try to beat me into no submission or beat me into this way of life or this world, or let in. And when I say beat, I'm talking about people in the world as the people as whole telling me what I need to go, what get along with it. No. And I already explained to y'all a little bit of that in my life for a while. I'm just, like I said, a loner. I'm not going along with it just because to make you feel good. I'm not. Okay? I got to keep myself away from the evildoers. I don't envy them at all. Never have. I stepped away. I let you have it. Because it came to points in my life I had to choose some type of morality decision. While going through the darkness and going through the journeys and experiencing life. And actually just growing and learning on my own. Didn't really have to. My parents are pretty much older, didn't really have that handy get down with, a lot of knowledge and stuff. But I don't care. I don't hold it against them because I'm here today and I got it. So, hey, God can do it, right? So let's just seek his face and we don't blame each other and we just work toward being better people. A better nation. And let's get out for Brother Esau. Let's get out Brother Ishmael. Know that way, have your knowledge, and you know, but choose your side, and just let it be. Okay. So at the end of the day, I wanted to give y'all some definitions of the agreement and covenant. So maybe y'all understand a little bit more conceptual of the marriage of what we supposed to hold up with the Most High, and we can't let nobody get in the way of that. Okay. But also, we don't use this excuse either. You know what I'm saying? To practice fornication, to practice adultery, and none of these things. I'm not giving y'all okay for that. But just clarify and give us some understanding about that. And like he said, Jesus was born, they say, the Christians say he was born from Mary or whatever, a virgin, whatever. I don't really get into that discussion if I believe it or not, because all I care about, he got here, right? The sacrifice was done. Why does it matter anyway if she had sex with Joseph or not? It's kind of really a It's not really a good argument, and it's petty. It's not really bringing any substance to something that can lead somewhere. It's just a simple question of did she have sex or not with him. It's really not important. So at the end of the day, he got here, and there's been many of as he made like him. So we'll be all right. We'll be all right. So I'm not gonna just elaborate on that point. But at the end of the day, he got here, and no, he wasn't just a mere prophet either, but he was not just God either, because God has three parties, right, as we know. So like I said, in agreements, and that's a true marriage. It's nothing, anything outside of it is tipping the scale. So it's a tug of war, you know what I'm saying? So you get that far as, soul wise. And that's what he intended for it to be, soul wise. Heart, mind, heart, body, soul. Not just one working off the mind, or a marriage off the image, or a marriage off the world, or a marriage off of just, the body. It's all parts you can break down about constructing it. But it always leads back to what it is essentially supposed to be. Mind, body, and soul. One with each other and being in agreements. This is true peace. True peace is in agreements. It's always a written agreement. It's always a word. It's always got a moral to what you're standing on. It's always that keeps it going. That keeps it straight. It's the morality, the standard, the measurement. And you owning up to who you are and you keeping your word. Because you love your neighbor as yourself, and if somebody lied to you or somebody hurt you or tell you this and that, you wouldn't like it. So you don't do it to the next. So you hold up your agreement, you do your part, and that's the love that we're reciprocating and sharing. And that's how it goes. So that we got a lot of selfishness, and there are a lot of pride and a lot of envy in this world that just don't get it. It's all mouth talk, it's all tongue talk. But it's not in their heart, mind, and soul to be that way or want to be that way. But that's okay. We love our enemy. We pray for them. And we keep it going. You know what I'm saying? If it's even in your nation, in your family, you love them. And you tolerate them a little bit longer, or you do what you do best to love them for a distance or whatever, which way you got to go about it. But let's just have the understanding, okay, as we navigate this little quarantine or COVID, this thing that's going on in the world, and I'm just sitting back like it's a lot to take in, but at the same time it was already foretold, and it shall be what it shall be. So we just gotta face the blues as the people as a whole. Well, I'm glad I got into that. I'm gonna leave that discussion alone right now. So I'm done talking about expressing myself about that. So I want to get right into the lesson. I'm at 43 minutes on my second. I had to do an hour and 36, and then I stopped and went and got some dinner tonight and stuff like that, and I came back. But that's why I like recordings, because I'm able to go do stuff, come back, or even the next day. It seemed like it was the same day or the same hour, timing back to back. But now I could take breaks in individual. So that's why I don't do a lot of live, y'all, because I know live is live, and I'm still trying to figure this technology out. I literally didn't know how to make a YouTube. I just use, like I said, my wisdom, my understanding can't be hard. I've always learned stuff quick, and whatever I could do, I could put my mind to it and figure it out, and I always do. Thanks to the Most High for this gift and this blessing. I'm truly glad for it, because I'm glad. I'm really glad. And it's truly a blessing. So at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I'm still figuring out some things, guys, especially with the live and stuff. Y'all look at me like, oh, you young, you don't know how to do technology. Y'all got hit. Yeah, we got hit with it when we were kids. But we still didn't, coming straight off, it wasn't like this. So in kids we started. And even then, it wasn't this bad. But after 2000 and kind of toward the midway, it has gotten. Now it's all over the world. The eye is everywhere of horrors. So I'm in this youth and I have problems with it. So I'm just imagining the elders and people older, that's trying to figure it out too all the way. I don't know a lot. I'm not a genius at this technology stuff yet. But I do know that it's better to do a recording where I can take breaks and stop. Or if I want to end here and tomorrow pick up, to just be like the same as I was right there, and let it flow. But I've taken my breaks in between, did some things. So it gives me an opportunity to let the spirit move on its own accord and talk as the spirit lead me and not my own will, my own mind. Like I said, I'm feeling better, guys, a lot better from the other days, but I have to leave things here for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't know when the time comes. Not looking forward to, not speaking on myself. I'm not trying to get nobody in fear. Please don't. Please don't. Love, okay? Speak that for me. Speak health. I'm fine. It's just, I really wanted to really express myself out. And and let people know that they're not alone in this fight, especially my young black sisters, and anybody that's out there, the sinners that's trying to find their way, and to the elders that's trying to understand a lot more what's going on with the youth. If you're really seeking to know, or you're really trying to help, or you actually lost in time and you need to be updated, I'm here. So at the end of the day, this is assembly, it is a body, and it's spread it all over the world, the spirit. So I am very, very much thankful for anything y'all give me, or anything y'all, if y'all watch a pictograph, or you watch a video, or you comment, I'm thankful for anything. And that's the main thing, is to reach the people with truth, give understanding, give wisdom, and save souls to not go about these ways of life, and to break the chains, and hopefully be able to inspire my youth, and especially my sisters, to get back up in the fight, and fight for your morality, fight for your soul. And don't let anybody tell you that you're not worthy, for we all are not worthy. We honestly ain't. So you are blessed, you are gifted, and y'all pick yourselves back up. And I tell myself this, I'm trying to work on more things too, y'all. Like I say, it's hard being in this form. It's a lot, what we can be as women and what we ain't. It's a lot of things we can work on. And so I'm here to say that I'm with y'all in the fight to the end. And also, before I go take this break, and then get into the scriptures, because today is going to be on chapter 3. I finally was able to get on here for you guys, because the spirit led me to. So I said I'm going to talk. But before I get on chapter 3 of Proverbs, unfolding of Proverbs, calling of the wise virgins, I do want to make it known that I am not part of any religious institution or organization. I do not attend IUIC. I do not attend GOCC. I don't attend Alpha and Omega Clan. I don't, what's the other one was? Body of Yahushua, Battle with Axis, any religious camp, the Christian church. I don't deal with Church of Christ. I don't deal with none of these titles of any organization or camp. I've never been part of. Now, the only one I have been part of was Church of Christ. My mother is a Christian, and she's been there for a long time. And I appreciate the men that did baptize me. I do appreciate the love that y'all have seen me grow in since I was a little girl. I understand. I am glad y'all was there. That's all I can say. But far as my path is different, and I will hope y'all keep the word in dear, and y'all seek understanding, y'all seek y'all knowledge to know more, especially the elders and my mother and anybody else. But the only organization I've ever been a part of was the Church of Christ my whole life. So, and then when I did go to church here and there throughout my life, it was that my mother's religion. So it was only that. And also when I was in a mentor program in a system for a while away from her, that lady, she said, was a Christian too, so she did Baptist and different things, but mainly it was that church Christianity basically was the religion, or basically of all I known, as far as I would say putting me on a straight path to where I'm at. So at the end of the day, I never been a Muslim. I never attend a mosque. I never attend anything. But I've had ex-Muslims as friends or boyfriends or something like that. But I've never actually just got into it. It's like I say, everybody have their own path, and only thing, while they seeking and know knowledge and learn and stuff, to choose whatever they decide they want to go with. I never been part of any camps. I've reached out through emails to certain brothers and sisters, have talked with different people on platforms so they know who I am. Certain ones to say I'm here, even I've talked to the Church of Christ, have sent things. So I've been here. So, just coming to the surface, after my journey, the Spirit has led me on. So I'm here, but never been a Buddhist, never been a Hindu, never been into all those other things. So, just wanted to make that clear, so no one can socialize me with any type of religious institution, I would say, or put a jacket on me that I that I clearly don't know. So beware of false accusations, and I've already spoke the word out pertaining to the wisdom behind that. So it's judgment behind, like I say, things that you do in spiritual wise, and hide your hand and think nobody see. Mother Wisdom knows all. The Spirit testifies against you, and it bears witness. So at the end of the day, I'm making it known that I am not part of none of these. But yeah, I do be on YouTube like anybody else. I do sit back and I do observe just like anybody else. I'm not in there to say what y'all doing or what you're not doing. But it's clear to see when you're bringing and delivering the message on video. It's clear to see things that with the tongue that it just have not been acceptable. It's not acceptable how to talk on certain things. I don't mind as a black woman for y'all to tell me to shut the crap up, or whatever y'all want to say, or how y'all want to tell me to shut up, that a woman can't teach or talk. I don't care about y'all saying that. But what I care about is how you say it. But it's always condemnation when we talk, when we say something. I always want to be correcting our words. Never look at the words and how y'all using it, and how y'all force it out, and how y'all bring it off. It requires action, and it can be disturbing to a woman. It can be hurtful to a woman, and it also can be judgment as well, because like I said, men was given the authority to speak. So know your power, but it also, your power can make you be weak, and it actually can make you a target, and it actually can get your house overthrown if you don't be careful. So at the end of the day, you up there speaking a lot. Be careful. Just be careful. Any man or woman that's doing it. But I see just majority of men everywhere on YouTube, even, all over the world, because that's what y'all do. Y'all are creators. Y'all speak these things into existence. So y'all talk day in, day out. Somewhere men are going to be talking every minute, every hour to second, because that's you're creating. But just be careful what you're saying. Be careful what you're doing. Remember Mother Wisdom. Remember the wisdom that the Father gave you, because He's more knowledge. He's not just knowledge. It's not just Him. The two became one. So just get a little bit more wisdom, understanding, and be careful with that. So I just wanted to make that known. So for any brothers or sisters, or trying to put up me on with someone, or with any camp, or with anybody, I am not. Are they my brothers and sisters? Yes. Because we all should look at each other like that. We all is assembly. Whether we met these people a day in our life or not, we can still love. We still love. We still say things, nice and how correct. And correct them in a nice form, a nice manner. And that's what I choose to do on my channel. So when they put it publicly, hey, just know you put it publicly. So it's okay. You want someone to look, so hey, people are looking, people are observing. But I'm only mostly doing it in the right way to bring y'all back to reality. Alright. I'm sorry, guys. But basically bring y'all back to reality to let y'all know that, hey, the two became one. You got to understand wisdom. You got to have wisdom. And you got to have understanding. This is how the Father made it be. And so at the end of the day, nobody can change that. So I would encourage y'all to clear up your tongue. Especially this Pastor Dow, which I had a conflict maybe about a years ago with him and his mouth. But recently some brothers have been exposing and kind of doing some playtime. There's been a couple of witnesses that's saying things about the tongue. Actually, it's public of what he said about a woman elder. But I'll get on that another day. I'm not really too anxious, or my feet is not really swift to run to correcting. So I'm going to do that when I get time to do that. But just know it's coming. It's coming. But I want to finish on my path. I don't want to get distracted off of that. But it's coming. But I really don't enjoy doing that. I don't. But I do enjoy correcting. But I really don't want to. But some things I do have to. And some people I do. It's not an instance where you're just doing something little and it's like, alright, you can look over. This is mainly for people who have had this over and over again problem with their tongue publicly. And do not care what they put on their channel, what they say to their brothers and sisters. No. That's not acceptable. Okay, we all got some fathers seeing some things to work on. But when you directly take the spirit and say that, oh, the Most High, you want to make a mockery of a woman elder when the word says that the elderly women has to teach the young women and children. This was her supposed to be job. But I guess men like you make it hard for her to even do her part. It's clear to see. So I'm not gonna go into that. I know what it is. But at the end of the day, you can be corrected by a babe. Because the word says, what Isaiah said, babes will teach over them. What? That's what he said? Didn't Messiah say the kingdom is full of children? See, we all are children. But what do you say? What basically he's saying? Youth. It's going to be some elders too and stuff because we're all children. But I'm saying, look, equate us. Because we there too. We can get that opportunity as well. Okay? So at the end of the day, this is where it's at now. This is where it's at. So I don't have no problem. You can make a video about me if you want to. Anybody can mock me because I see that they have done a lot of people like that. And when I heard Ken Jen said the same thing about the Hebrew Israelites. Yes, they can be like that. I've seen a few. But that's okay. Because this, I would say, this word that I speak shall not return back, boy. At the end of the day, it will not. So at the end of the day, you got to get yourself together. Y'all better get yourself together because time is short. And y'all spoke a lot of things into existence because y'all hated the white man. So Most High got to do it, right? Somebody got to do it. Somebody got to play something, right? Somebody got to do something. So at the end of the day, let it happen. Let it be. But it's not right. It's not right. And I want you to know that it's not right. So correct it. Correct it. But that was too much for me to even listen to. So I'm okay. But I know how he had popped off on me when I come in and it told him the fruits of the spirit a long time ago on a politically, I think it was about polygamy subject. After that, I never went to that man's page again. Never did even subscribe to him. Just something popped up on my YouTube channel. But I definitely understand it, and I know. And I definitely, so I'm here for the brothers and sisters, and let's stand on what we stand on to the end. So I want y'all to be safe. I want y'all to be careful. And y'all know what y'all see. Have your discernment and use these teachings that I give you. Embrace them. Love it. You know, study some of the things that I put there. Even though some of this probably you already know. I'm using some of everybody. So guess what? I love to support all my brothers and sisters. I'm not the type of person that I want to just promote myself and with my art and show y'all all the things I can do. No, we're going to do this together. You got a quote, you got some knowledge, all right? Boom. I want to show y'all I'm all with y'all. Don't donate to me only. Just to donate to me. No. What you need. This is the attitudes that we supposed to be having. But if y'all don't want to, that's okay. That's okay. Because you're not going off the word if you don't. But that's okay. That's your decision. Like I said, it's your choice and decision. But just know what you're facing, okay? And know what you're going against. But I'm going to stop right now on that. Like I said, I like to do the pausing and stopping. That's why I do recording. And that's why I don't do the live. Because of the simple fact I can't have that option. And I'm still trying to work on how to do that effectively. And don't mess up or whatever. Because I like to take breaks. Get my thoughts clear. And then I have a little daughter that's one. So she's asleep right now. So the good part. So I'm going to be able to go through this next session briefly. But I wanted to get all that out because I don't know the next time I'll be able to talk to y'all. Because I don't really like expressing with my tongue that much. You know, I love to do my pictographs. I love to, you know, look at y'all arts, look at y'all pictures, look at y'all things. So, it helps me and I create a little bit myself. So, that's where I'm at right now, guys, okay? So, just bear with me and be patient. I've expressed with my own tongue some things that I'm going to be talking about, putting it out there related to the things I've already told y'all that I was going to, I'm going to do, like I said, as far as that correction, how I act, how I, my way, how I go about things in order and stuff. So, just be patient with me. So, I only talk when I'm moved by the Spirit. So like I said, it's probably going, I'm on my second hour now, which is the second video I start. So I'm going to cut this one off and I'm going to start with the new one. And when I come back, it's going to be straight into chapter 3 with Proverbs. Breaking it down from the old translation to the new. And I was able to order my 1800 book Proverbs from Israel. So I should have it soon. It's coming international from Israel. So hopefully I get it by February. Like I said, February 26th. So I did get that. So I'm waiting on that, guys. So I was thankful the Most High blessed me with a little funds to be able to get what I've been wanting to get. See, I always work out when I put them first. Didn't know these stimulus checks come, but nowadays I've been just pinning on the Most High, and he's always on time and with something. He come through anybody's hand, and I'm grateful for it. Mainly the government, he been coming to his hand, giving me what I need. See, I don't look at the white man that it's him doing it. I look at the Most High do it. He's over all. When he set them up, Mother Wisdom, by kings, they rule. So, by her wisdom, they rule kings. So at the end of the day, we know those who are in control of everything. The creators are in control of all. So I'm thankful just being part of the bloodline covenant. I'm thankful being a sister of Yeshua. Although it's hard for a lot of y'all to grasp, I know it is, but it is what it is. But I'm more humble than ever. I hope to know him more. I hope to grow with him more. I hope to grow with the father, grow with the mother more, and just kind of see how this turn out. You know what I'm saying? Could be wrong, could be right. Oh well, but I never let my spirit go. I never let my morality, and I want to keep on fighting for that, and I want y'all too. So I just wanted to express all of these, because once I get in my session, now I'm just going to straight be about that. So I just really wanted to show y'all a little bit of me being relaxed, being calm, and just talking to y'all, expressing, letting y'all know how I feel when things are coming up, assuring y'all that I will continue what I said I was going to do, and just throwing out some things that I didn't, tell y'all at times that I've just now told you. I'm here. My email is down there on the intro video. So I just want to make a few things clear in case it was misunderstandings that y'all didn't, understand, or you trying to, just throwing out a little bit with my tongue. But I probably won't be talking for a while. I know I told y'all I was going to do a chapter a day. But like I said, I only can give y'all my plans and what I want to do and what I strive to do. But unfortunately, as I told you, I have a personal life. I get busy sometimes, and sometimes I'm going through, my things, and I'm like, I can't at the moment, because I have to, take care of my daughter. Something come up. But I try to, with the Most High, I try to keep my covenant as the married woman, like I say. But first of all, my covenant to my God, and seek His face and seek their face, and make sure I'm staying in spirit with them and not just getting so far off with the world and tied into my marriage as well until I forget them and then I'm out. Because we all still have to keep that from the being our covenant. So do some work for them and do some things that we can share spiritually with the body and with everyone. And it doesn't take you going to a building to do this. Your temple is your building, okay? It's a spiritual kingdom that we've been building that soon will maybe, I wouldn't say maybe, but will manifest. So this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. So my temple is that I got to take care of my temple so I can please them, and I got to stay in the truth, and I got to do what I got to do. And that's how I look at it, that it's not a building, it's not a physical thing that I have to go to be considered. So, and the word tells you that. It's okay. I would like to gather with my sisters and brothers at this point, maybe sometime, maybe in the future or whenever. That's just my hopes and my inspiration. But if the Most High never allow it to happen, then He just don't allow it to happen. Maybe it's a reason. But if He allows it to happen, I'm going to let it happen how it's supposed to, on accord of how it, if it comes to that. But I would like to, but it's just circumstances and timings and things. We just all got to connect to each other how we can connect to. And this is my way to connect to y'all right now, for as I know. And hopefully y'all will accept that and understand. But no, I'm not with any camps, any churches. I mean, even if the system was right, I was done with that way of concept, done with that physical code, done with that illusion, done with all of that, and dealing strictly with my being, how they created to be, and taking care of my temple, and dealing with reality, and actually, worshiping the Most High Spirit and truth. Alright, so I've said all of that, and now I'm going to be starting. I'm going to go take me a break. So I'm at 2 hours and maybe like 40 minutes in all with 2 videos so far. So I'm going to go take a little small break, and when I come back, we'll start the unfolding of Proverbs. Chapter 3 and calling of the wise virgins. I hope for y'all to stay tuned. I hope y'all to click on it and actually, not be discarded by these first 2 videos, that y'all will watch the 3rd part. Because like I said, I'm dropping it all for right now, because I don't know when I'm going to be able to get to chapter 4. I would like to do a chapter a day. Would have been good on timing, but however, it's just like I said, fighting this warfare, fighting this flesh, fighting the things of the world, conspiracies, what they got us under in the house 24/7, or me being a stay-home mom, and some different things. So it comes with a lot of frustration at times, and trying to get back on routine and stuff, but the Most High been calling me a lot lately. The Spirit been really want to deal with me lately, and I'm like, man, I know I'm gonna get to you. So I just don't expect to be probably a week or 2 before I do another video with my tongue actually talking to y'all seeing my face and hearing my voice. It's probably not gonna be like I said, this is maybe a week or 2 maybe more than that I could do chapter 4. But right now we're going to be sticking on chapter 3. I gave you as much as I can give you for as update concerning me. Know that I'm not taking back my word. I'm just edifying that, like I said, things happen. Nobody's in control of the time in life. So I just hope to do these things, and I would just put my goals that I would want to and plan something every day. But hey, if the Most High is, today is not the day I could do it, then I just can't do it. And some days I'm not in the spirit, don't hit me to do it, and I'm just like, okay. So I go with what the spirit moved me to talk. I don't just want to talk just to be talking and talking about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Or things of the world or all is that. No, it's always going to be focused on my channel and what I've already constructed. Well, I would say the Father's constructing what I'm instructing off of, but building upon each time. So I will have the informative videos corresponding to people or a song or something corresponding exactly to the topic and the subject of what my channel is all about and what it's going to give. Alright, so I hope y'all enjoyed those 2 informative videos so far about the Islamic and the transgender, and a little bit of Malcolm X speech corresponding. He's paving the way for me to get in now, so it's kind of like let him through out a lot of more knowledge, a lot of knowledge out there, and now I'll go off of that, coming in as wisdom and understanding and elaborating more on what these brothers actually stood up for and what was the picture behind their words and what was they saying the whole time and what made them so powerful and what made them be able to move in a particular way, and it was the spirit, mother wisdom, children, you know what I'm saying, the spirit, the morality of knowledge, not just knowledge alone, not just good and evil and saying off a couple little scripts or whatever, but moved by the spirit, and actually these are their core beings and they were formed, off of more knowledge. And that's the path they chose. Like I said, who knows? They had their battles in the flesh like we all do. The old Tupac, the new Tupac, the old Malcolm, yeah, Martin too. So, but as I know, he was still a Catholic. So again, I'm not going to ramble on. I'm going to get off of here, take my break now. But when I come back in, we're going to dive right in. I thank y'all for even just listening to me so far for like 2 hours and a half. I hope this was enough for y'all to get started on meditation and just sitting back and relaxing and taking everything I said so far. So next we'll get on what the subject I come to speak to y'all about for this particular moment. Thank you. Tune in, my brothers and sisters, for everybody watching, and enjoy the chapter 3. And take heed and apply. And always go to my channel if you're dealing with any of those sins in this part. Just pick the one you feel like you're dealing with, and just learn. And it's not to convict you to turn away and stay in it, but to convict you to change, convict you to come forth, and actually make a conscious decision and work on the things that you see that you're dealing with on that list or anything, for guidance, okay? And I do the same, you know what I'm saying? Let's strive to do better. Let's fight this spiritual warfare, and let's overcome this flesh, guys. Tune in to Unfolding of Proverbs, Calling of the Wise Virgins, Chapter 3.